All right, we're live. So, why can I?
So are we on?
Yeah, we're live.
Hi.
Gonna get to.
Just technical
Oh,
difficulties.
here we go. Comments. Here we go.
All right. Just setting up so we can see questions.
Yeah, maybe just post a comment in the comment section so we know that you're hearing us and we know that we've got people showing up. Oh, we got one comment here.
Okay. You have one comment?
No. Hi, Chris. Good to go on. So you can hear us okay there, Chris?
Okay. He said good to go, so
Yeah.
start going.
Well, we're going to wait a few minutes here for more people to show up. I know we can usually see how many. All right, yeah, we got 31 viewers. Okay, there we go. All right, still working with this dashboard here, but looks like I'll see all these comments. Like, where are these? How come this isn't? There we go. All right, now we can see.
Okay.
It's working fine. All right, hearing you loud and clear. Okay, I don't know why these comments aren't scrolling
Right.
as we go. So, anyway, hey, good to see people showing up. I'm Mark Walter. I'm the race director for the Patriot Half. I am owner of Sun Multisport Events. I'm here with my wife, Linda Walter, who many of you have probably met. She has been the finish line coordinator for all of the years of Sun Multisports. So we are happy to have you. Give another minute or two for people to show up. It just looks like, I don't know what all that is, but we're up to 44 viewers. And why don't we're just going to jump in. Okay, so first off, I want to start from a place of gratitude because this has been a crazy 15 months for everybody. It's been a real hard time for a lot of people personally, professionally, certainly for an event business like ours, having been shut down for that amount of time has been difficult. So we are extremely grateful for the support we got during that time from a lot of great athletes, expressing their support through our virtual events and whatnot. But we're super excited to now finally be able to get back to racing. That said, we know it's going to look a little bit different. Soon at the end of May here, we still have this virus, this a deadly virus that we are still contending with. So things are going to still look a little bit different. So I want to also set the right expectations. You have seen, many of you, which I will talk through, our mitigation plan, because as always, our goal is your safety. Your safety, has historically been more about, police details and, volunteers in the right place and lifeguards and things like that. Now we have this virus to contend with. So again, many of the things that are in that mitigation plan, we will be continuing with, and that's designed for your safety. So the biggest thing that has come out since the day I put out that mitigation plan, of course, the CDC announced then that if you've been vaccinated, that you no longer need to wear a mask outdoors. The reality of the situation is the CDC came out with that. States were caught off guard. Everyone kind of went into a scramble mode, right? That led to Governor Baker coming out, 4 or 5 days later saying, okay, hey, now we're going to accelerate our reopening, to the end of May. So those are all good things. But again, we still have this pandemic. We still have, or this virus, we still have the, our plan to be safe that we've been working on for a very long time. So we're not just going to throw that aside because, again, it's about your safety. However, because now the science is saying if you've been vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask outside. Um, we are going to take note of that. Now, it's also important to know this is an event, right? So it's one thing if you not to wear a mask outside, if you're taking the dog for a walk. It's another when you're around several hundred people. So what we are going to be doing is going to be sending out an email where we're going to be asking everyone whether or not you're vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, you will not need to wear a mask before the event or after the event, which was really the main guideline in the mitigation plan. You won't need to wear a mask at that time. You're still encouraged to have one, and we're still going to be giving them out. And if you want to wear one, you can wear one. If you have not been vaccinated, haven't had the time, aren't against religious beliefs, or for whatever other reason you are not vaccinated, you will need to show a negative test. Okay, this is exactly what the Ironman is doing. The New York City Marathon has announced doing that. I think that's kind of where our industry is going. So, in summary, you're going to be asked, have you been vaccinated or not? If you haven't, you're going to need to show a negative test. And then that's how that's going to work. So, with that said, I'm going to now kind of walk through really the race from start to finish, the race experience. And I'll hit on the mitigation, I'll hit on some of the other things. And then as you have questions, just throw them into the comment section and I'll look to address them. So we'll start off with who can attend the event. So I'm basically going through the mitigation plan for those of you at home that might have it in front of you. And so we are still obviously allowing athletes, SME staff, volunteers, support staff. We are not going to be allowing spectators. Again, I know many of you who are participating in this event want to have friends and family there to cheer you on. I totally get it. But again, this is about minimizing crowd density. So we are not going to be allowing spectators. We're not changing that. But if you have people that want to cheer you on, have them volunteer, okay? You can literally have someone sign up to be a volunteer. They'd be able to see you twice on the bike course. They can then come back to the venue, see you at the finish. That's really the best way, or maybe sign up to volunteer on the run course to see at an aid station. So there are opportunities for you to see athletes on the course as a volunteer. That's how that will work. We're still not going to allow team tents, so sorry about that. As far as, so I see a question about proof of vaccination. Yes, we're going to be asking you to show that. So we're going to send out a questionnaire asking you about that, and then ask for you to show that on race morning. No team tents. That was something that was put in the mitigation plan. That is not changing. And overall safety guidance is, again, this is what's in here. We are going to continue to try to keep people spaced out. We are going to have you social distance. We're going to, we've got some cleaning protocols in place that we're going to be doing to just keep the place clean. And again, really try to mitigate the risk of the virus. So let's talk about packet pickup. We are offering 2 packet pickup opportunities. The first one will be on Monday at Fast Splits in Needham, Massachusetts. The second one will be at Landry's Bicycles in Boston on Wednesday, a week of the event. We are going to be asking you to RSVP to go there. So only if you RSVP telling us that you're going to that packet pickup will we then have your packet there. Okay, so don't just show up because it's not going to be there. It's not going to be like how we've done it in the past, where we then essentially assemble your pack. All of the packets are going to be pre-assembled. So again, if we get 50 RSVPs for Fast Splits, we're only going there with 50 packets. That link to RSVP will be coming out, should be out by next week, but that's coming soon. Then there will be packet pickup. Good question on the negative test. 72 hours before the event. That's when the negative test needs to be taken and shown. So continuing with packet pickup, we'll also have it on Friday, the day before the race, where there you don't need to RSVP because at that point we'll have all the packets there. That's going to be 4 to 7 on the Friday before the race. And then, especially for those of you that are coming from out of town, you can still check in on race morning. Your packet, one of the things about this year's event, and this is going kind of back to things being a little bit different, is we are, sorry, I'm just seeing a question about the bring CDC vaccination card. You can bring the actual card, bring it as a photo on your phone, and either of those will be sufficient.
I just want to jump into, so another option too is just wearing the mask. If you haven't been vaccinated and you don't want to take the test, but you don't want to do the vaccination, just wear a mask before the event and after the event, and just have one in your pocket in case you have a crash or whatever, or something like that. And it's to protect you because you're not protected and it's a deadly virus. So we just want to make sure that everyone's protected. So just having that mask on you before and after the race, or doing the test, or showing your vaccine card. And you can just do a photo, take a picture of it. Everybody should have a picture of their vaccination card just in case you lose it anyhow. So go ahead, Mark.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's glad you make that point. Yeah, I mean, honestly, before the CDC announcement came, the mask requirement really wasn't all that. I didn't think it was that big a deal, quite honestly, especially given the environment. You basically had to wear one when you arrived. You would be asked to wear one right up to the start of the event. We literally have a garbage can at the race start where you drop it in, you swim, you bike. You would be asking to have one with you on the bike, have one with you on the run, protect your face on the run if you can't keep 6 feet from people. It really wasn't that challenging to begin with. All right, so just looking at some of the comments.
There was a little bit more comments about the vaccination, about volunteers. So really, anybody who's there, I would say you would need to show that you are either have been vaccinated or you're wearing a mask.
Correct.
And I know that at the finish line, we want to have people wearing masks and gloves, just because they're going to be touching bottles and things like that. And then photo on phone. Yeah, we just another question about that. And then a transition question.
Can we set up our bikes transition station Friday when we check in? Yes, we will have overnight security. We would prefer for you to show up on, Friday to deposit your bike there. And yes, there will be security. And the other thing to keep in mind, again, the mitigation plan that was sent out is not the athlete guide, where I'll go into much greater detail about where porta-johns are going to be, that there you can check in the bike, about security. So there's a lot of other details that are not, specific to the race in the mitigation plan that will be in the athlete guide. Let's see. But yeah, so on volunteers, right, we're also going to be asking volunteers, again, this is in the interest of safety, to be vaccinated or to show proof of a negative test. So that leads us to body marking. So we are doing race tattoos. So your packet will include a race tattoo that will go on your arm and on your calf. And this is one of the reasons why I added the extra packet pickup. I want as many people to get those packets on either that Monday, Wednesday, or the day before the race as possible, so that you can arrive on race morning with that already applied. We know there will be some that don't show up until Saturday morning, so you're going to be in a position at that point to put it on. We will have buckets of water with chlorine for, to kill any kind of germs, available for you to self-apply that. But that's going to be on you to self-apply that race tattoo. Transition, as always, will be limited to athletes and volunteers. And we are going to continue with a plan of keeping bikes more spaced out, just as is listed in that mitigation plan. So you're going to like that. Most people will certainly enjoy having more space in transition. So the way the swim start is going to work, historically we have put teams together in transition, which I know is a nice thing for a lot of teams and camaraderie and all that. Um, no, you don't. If you show a negative test, you will not need to wear a mask. So
Sorry, we're
basically,
just seeing more questions coming up.
yeah, yeah. So right. So if you again, because I know, and here's another thing. There will be this all summarized in an email, right? I know some people are probably coming in and out or might not sure what they heard. I'm a better writer than public speaker. I can be a little more concise and clearer. So bear with me if maybe it's not crystal clear. But to restate, we're going to be asking you to get vaccinated or show proof of a negative test. And in that case, you don't need to wear a mask. If you don't have those, you're going to need to wear a mask. That's the other part of it. So this doesn't exclude anyone, basically. But we're taking these precautions, to give those that are vaccinated or show that negative test the option to then not have to wear the mask.
And keep in mind that this is reacting to what is currently going on right now. This is the current thinking. We're taking some guidance from other races that are going on, some of the larger marathons and the Ironman and all that. So we're sort of following what some other people are doing, and that's just the current thinking. From the past year that things are constantly changing, and we're trying to just react to that and do the best we can with what the current information is.
Exactly. And I want to err on the side of being overly cautious more than not, right? This is these will be one of the first triathlons back in Massachusetts. We want to put on a good, safe show. So everything that all the careful thinking and planning that went into that mitigation plan, I think does provide for a safe environment for racing. And, now there's been some change in the guidance. So we're kind of rolling with that, but we do not believe hey, this is back to 2019. As much as I'd like that to be the case, that will not be the case with Patriot. Thank you,
Thank
Amy.
you. And Bob.
All right. So I started to talk about the swim start. So all of the waves, we're still going to put everyone in waves. So you're still going to have, different colored swim caps and whatnot. And transition, as always, is going to be, numbered 1 up to, like 675 or something, which I'll also just throw out there in case you weren't aware. Historically, we have about 875 people, ready to, signed up for the race. That I have cut that by, like 20% down to about 675-ish. And that was done because by spacing people out more in transition, right, we've got a much bigger transition. And, even though we've got a lot of space to work with there's a limit on that. So we felt that was the right number. So anyway, that just means that, again, I think things are going to feel a little more spaced out, certainly in transition, just, physically distance wise, but on the bike course, on the swim, on the run, there's going to be fewer people. Just a point of fact. So the swim start, we're going to have you organize again, 1 to 675. That number sequence will follow the wave. So wave 1 might be athletes, 1 to 29. Wave 2 might be 30 to 92, whatever, and so on. And we will have you all kind of in transition at the, as we're getting ready to start, and then wind you around to the start. So for those of you that have been at the event in the past, we typically we usually have a big crowd at the swim start. A real crowd, right? Just about all the athletes, 800 athletes or so, 700, all there. We're going to have you do almost, I don't know, it might be like 2/10 of a mile of a walk kind of around the venue almost through the finish, the back of the finish. Again, for those of you that are familiar with the event who've done it, we're going to kind of bring you through the back of the finish, which is the chute that goes right to the swim start. So I've done the math. I looked at the numbers, 6 people in pairs, side by side, 6 feet apart, 6 feet side between us, 6 feet in front and behind. we're going to have this long line right to the swim start. That'll keep everyone spaced out, and that's how that's going to work. Hopefully, you liked my little stick figure chart in the mitigation plan. I worked on that really hard. So there you go. On to the bike. What I had said here was if you, that we want you to have a mask. My preference was that you have the mask and you hold it down so that, if you got close to someone, you could pull it up. Again, now, if you're vaccinated, you don't need to even do that. But, if you haven't provided that negative test or proof of vaccination, again, I'm encouraging you to have it. I know there's some people that aren't super comfortable taking a hand off the bike. If they see someone, your safety on the bike is paramount to the mask. So, if you're coming up to a bottle exchange, I don't want you, fumbling with that, reaching for a bottle. So use common sense with that. But that's why pretty lenient on the bike, but have it with you. Have it in your back pocket there, just in case. So that's the bike. Back to the swim. I'm so focused on the mitigation plan. The swim is a 1.2 mile course. We're going to have basically about 12 buoys to go around, counterclockwise loop. There will be plenty of lifeguards out there supporting you. If you get tired, you get winded, you can call over to a kayak to rest. That support is going to be there.
Are the athletes' numbers organized by age?
Yes, the athlete numbers are all by age group. So when I announce the wave plan, which will be in the athlete guide, so that should be out in a couple of weeks, you will see that I'm making this up. Women 29 and under are in wave 4, and the sequence of those people are going to be 112 to 191, whatever. So yeah, you'll pretty much be next to people in your age group or category. I'll have all the Clydesdales together, all the Athenas together, as well as all the other categories like relays. So bike course, there will be 3 opportunities to refuel on the bike course, which for those of you who haven't picked up on this, we have made a change to the bike course from 2019. It was the course that we changed for 2020, which of course we didn't do, but that new bike course is on the website, the cue sheets there, the maps there. Essentially what happens is you're going to do about 12 miles through Freetown and Lakeville. You will then come to a spot where you have about a loop that you're going to do twice. And then you're going to come back the last 8 miles through Rochester and Freetown. There is a key spot on the bike course, potential confusion, but we are going to do everything to make it clear where you're going to come to a fork. And when you're coming through to start your second loop, you're going to go right. And after having finished that, to go home to finish, you're going to go left. So it's going to be a very clear fork. You're going to be presented with a decision to make. We're going to have tons of signage, volunteers there, and I'm going to be making a video at that location, which I hope to do as long as the weather cooperates next week, where I'm going to literally physically be at that intersection and kind of walk you through what you're going to see. But basically, you're going to go right to start your second loop, and that's at around mile 28. And then you're going to come back around, and it'll be around mile 48 or 49 where you're going to come to that same location, and you're going to go left to go home. So that is that. And I mentioned 3 opportunities to refuel. One is at the bottle exchange station at around mile 12. And then the other one is actually right before this fork that I was telling you about. That bottle exchange where there'll be water and Gatorade is where you'll be able to refuel as needed.
So Jeremiah responded to Charlie about the significant sun glare on the swim.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that a lot.
No, I've never heard about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but that's probably, never heard about sun glare. Is there GPX of the new course published? So I do have a link on the website to map my run where the course is, where you can download a GPX file. I just had someone email me the other day saying that it was corrupted, and they're like, oh, but it might be human error or whatever. So I just haven't gone back to look at that. I do have a GPX file that I then sent him. So I'll look to get that loaded to the site or just check out the link. But there is a link to the map, to the route on Map My Run, which does provide a feature to download the GPX file. Mile 48 to 49, where you're going to cry. I think you're probably thinking of that last little hill, maybe. That's a lot closer to the course. All right.
Kate's gonna do fine, and you, Amy. And we're looking forward to seeing you, Kate, on your first ever half. Good for you, doing all this training during COVID.
Yes, awesome. There will be also a porta-john at at those two bottle exchange stations as well. So that basically gives you 3 opportunities to use that if necessary. All right, so that's the bike, and I'm sure I might be missing a couple of details here. So if you have questions about any of this, put it in the comments box. Again, a lot of it's going to be in the athlete guide or is on the website. All right, so the run. Big takeaway on the run course is the same. It's been every year. It's a 13.1 mile loop through Freetown and Acushnet and Rochester. Historically, we've had almost an aid station at every mile. We're going to have probably just 6 this year, so you are going to need to be a little more self-sufficient. And I think there's an analogy here a little bit to like the restaurant industry, and this goes back to setting expectations. We aren't back to 2019. I'll be honest with you, getting volunteers has been challenging, right? There's still a lot of people, understandably, kind of concerned and has worries about kind of getting out there, and maybe jumping into volunteer an event might not be their first choice. So that has been a little more of a struggle. And again, to minimize contact between athletes and volunteers, I reduced the number of aid stations. So there will be at least 6. They will have bottled water and Gatorade, which our volunteers are going to put on the table for you to take as you run by. I meant to bring it in here for this meeting. The swag this year, in addition to a few other things, is a pretty awesome race belt that will have 2 10-ounce water bottle carriers. Another reason to come to packet pickup on either the week of or that Friday, so that you can fill that up. So I'm basically giving you a tool for you to use to carry some of your own hydration. Obviously, some of you might have Camelbacks or run with a water carrier or whatever, but plan ahead, okay? Plan to be able to be a little more self-sufficient, because the water stops are going to be a little more spread out. I mentioned the aid stations will have bottled water and Gatorade. There will also be a table set up with coolers of water and Gatorade. So if you are carrying your own carrier, a volunteer will fill that up for you, okay? So I don't want runners working the spigots. They won't do that. Our volunteers will do that for you. They're going to be gloved. They'll be masked. So that's how you'll have an opportunity to refill whatever you might be using. I get that, we also don't want a lot of trash or any trash on the course. So we're generating a lot more plastic here. We're going to be addressing that with where we place garbage cans and things like that. All right.
Want me to get your sample thing?
No, it's okay. What is a bottle exchange? Okay, Tino. So bottle exchange is on the bike course. Happy to go back to that. Where as you're riding, you can get from a volunteer about, I think it's a 32 ounce or 24 ounce bottle of Poland Springs water or Gatorade. They basically, a volunteer will kind of jog alongside, hand it to you, and you grab it as you go. There will be signage marking this. We ask you to toss a water bottle as you approach if you want one. That cues the volunteer that, okay, here comes someone that wants one. They'll kind of jog alongside and grab it from you. So that's what happens at a bottle exchange. If you don't need to refuel, you just kind of stay to the left of, cyclists that might be trying to get to do that exchange. And if you toss a water bottle, don't expect to get it back, because it's going to be in a pile of a lot of sticky, gross other water bottles. So bear in mind, we say toss one to get one, but don't expect to come to get it back unless you feel like doing a dumpster dive and sorting through trash to try to find it. Okay, so back to the run. Sorry, we're jumping around a little here, but that's okay. Again, 6 aid stations. You're gonna have bottled water and Gatorade, dispensers to refuel if you need it. So the Gatorade Endurance will be on the bike course. You can't get that in these little 8-ounce bottles at Costco or BJ's, and I've looked online. So the Gatorade at the run course aid stations are going to be the normal stuff that you'd buy in a store. So that's what you should expect there. The coolers, because we do have Gatorade Endurance Concentrate, will have it. So you'll be able to fill up your carrier there. So that's the deal there.
Should we plan to arrive earlier than we usually would before the start to account for any additional things to do?
I would always
actually be quick.
Well, first of all, I'd say I'd always encourage you to get there as early as possible because it's amazing how quickly that morning goes. But and we're still going to be screening people in, even though you submit that vaccine, hey, I'm vaccinated, we're still checking everyone in, right? Just kind of like on a regular race day. So we'll have volunteers to assist with that, and the process should go pretty quickly. We have a fewer number of athletes, but I think get there as early as you can is what I'd say. But there's not like extra tasks necessarily.
And if you do the packet pickup ahead of time, you'll have your tattoos, so you won't be going through body marking anyhow. You could already have those put on. You already have all your stuff, so you're not waiting for somebody to give you a t-shirt or whatever. So there could be that. So it's beneficial if you don't want to get there super early is to do the packet pickup ahead. But we will still need to have people in lines doing check-in. So
yeah.
And then we have the elderly people. Not sure they're going to be volunteering this year.
Unfortunately, our group that has volunteered on the run course every year up to this year declined. They just are not prepared to take this on just yet. So that's an unfortunate reality. They basically staffed every one of those aid stations. So I've been fortunate, back to the gratitude, by the number of tri-teams that have stepped up to help us put on this event. The Bay State Tri-Team, Boston Tri-Team, Breakthrough Performance Coaching, Tri-Fury, Team Bothwell, Karma Endurance. These are some of the teams that you're going to see staffing aid stations, Zoom Multisport, or the Bottle Exchange. So tremendous support from the triathlon community, the clubs in the area. Can't thank them enough, for really stepping up on this.
So, Catherine, I'm going to just address your question because you came in late about the vaccine. Yes, if you could just take a picture of your vaccine card and you could just show that when we're doing check-in. And also there's going to be a survey a couple of days ahead talking about, asking you questions. And then will the water bottles fit in the standard baskets on the bikes?
What water bottles?
The water bottles that they're exchanging for.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
And then Jeremy clarifying, endurance bottles are on the bike, regular Gatorade, right? Endurance
on the
Gatorade
bike.
On the bike, regular Gatorade on the run, and the refill in the coolers is going to be the endurance also. So yes, they want proof.
And again, all of this will be laid out chapter and verse in the athlete guide. I know people would love to have that now, but as you might imagine, there's just a long list of things that we're still working on to get ready. That'll be out, the Sunday before the race. So, 6 days before the race, that will come out and that will have everything. Hey, and if you're really you really got to know an answer to something, you can email me. I'm pretty good about getting back to people pretty quickly. So if you really got a burning question, feel free to ask that.
No, you don't have to be affiliated with a team to sign up for the slots.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did do that so that those teams. Yeah, so if you go on the volunteer page, you'll see like a lot of the run aid stations will say, aid station Tri-Fury, aid station Wheelworks, Multisport, aid station Breakthrough Performance Coaching. That's for those teams to say, hey, yeah, we're going to sign up here, but feel free to join the team. They'd love to have your help. They'd love to meet you. Great group of people. That's that's what that means, but it doesn't preclude you from signing up for that. And I've already seen that, in some of the other things.
Kate, honestly, maybe being part of that team on that aid station might convince your husband to do triathlons. He might just like the people so much.
Right. There you go.
I see you said that you're not successful convincing him yet.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Leslie, what's your take on the bike course?
She did it?
Yeah, I know she's been out there riding the course.
And,
a lot of people are out there riding it. I'm sure if you're in the area and you haven't ridden the course, I wouldn't be surprised if you show up, this Saturday or Sunday. You'll probably find people out there riding the course. So,
And then Scott wants to know about the bike mechanics
yes. So
on the course.
we will have our at least two sources of support on the bike course. One will be a local bike shop. I'm hoping to get two. I'm working on getting two. And the other will be our bike coordinator, Sully. For those of you who might know him, if you've met him, you'd remember him.
He's loud.
he's loud and always has something to say. He is very handy with a bike wrench, and he'll be out there prepared to help people should he need to. Flat. That's right, Leslie. The course is a little flatter than last year, or the 2019 course. Hi, Andrea.
Needs more goats.
Andrea from Try Dog Gear in the house.
Oh, hi, Andrea.
All right, so I think I covered the run course. Actually, this whole thing about the jugs and 8-ounce water bottles is spelled out there. There will be porta-johns along the run course. Again, we'll kind of identify those locations in the athlete guide, but the goal here is to spread them out so that you don't have to go too long. And that kind of gets us to the finish line. So the finish line, you come across, again, if you haven't been, you will need to reapply a mask if you haven't been shown proof of vaccination or a negative test. We're going to, normally we're there to greet you, right? Put the water bottle, the finisher medal around your neck. We're taking off your timing chip. If this is going to be a little different, you're going to need to remove the chip yourself. We're going to have the tables kind of spread out where you take your finisher medal, you take the water bottle, and then we'll have some food and whatnot packaged that you also take. So normally we have kind of almost like a square finish line corral. We have the ice baths, tents. Unfortunately, it's going to be more of a long rectangle where you kind of almost, you come to plenty of chairs, we're not going to shoo you out of there, especially, coming across, having just finished a half iron, you're going to be spent. So they'll, gather yourself. We're not going to, again, chase you out of there. Once you've gathered yourself, you grab that water bottle, grab the finisher medal, and then, make your way on. The volunteers will be there. They'll be masked. They'll be gloved, kind of behind tables and, kind of keeping a safe distance. So we will have a post-event meal. We're looking at a box lunch. That'll be similar to what we've offered in the past. We will have some tables set up, to kind of keep everyone spread out. But, again, we're trying to minimize crowd gatherings. So, it's not going to be everyone packed under the tent, like we normally do. So people will be a little more spread out. At this point, I'm debating whether to bring the award ceremony back. Currently in the mitigation plan, I was not going to do an award ceremony. We're going to do kind of rolling awards and just sort of have them available. I'm rethinking that a little bit under the current, situation, with the mask coming off. But, if I have an award ceremony, what that does is force more people to stick around. So I'm not sure I'm going to go back on that, but I just wanted to let you know that is something that I'm still kind of thinking through. And I think that pretty much wraps up, what we're doing. Again, we have some plant-based options. Yes, there will be vegetarian. We also try to have gluten-free as well. We'll know what's gluten-free in the post-race meal. Power Bar is a new sponsor this year. We do not have Cliff. So for those of you, the energy gels that'll be on the run course will be from Power Bar, not from Cliff. So that's a new thing. And what was I going to say?
food.
Well, we talked about that. Just that again, this is where we're at now. There may be still some tweaks to what we do. We may hear something from the locals, the local, health department about, hey, no, we kind of need you to do it this way. I'm not anticipating that. I'm just trying to say, people, as I said in my guide here, please just come ready to cooperate, and comply with what we're asking and compete.
All right, so we have the question about the full race.
I signed up for the full race, but having trouble with an injury. Planning to switch to aqua bike. I'm feeling okay during the race. Would I be able to just continue with the full race if I'm able? You'll be, if I guess I'm not sure if you're signed up for the triathlon. That's how you'll come across and only do the aqua. Stop after the bike. You'll be DNF'd. If you are signed up for the aqua bike and you feel good and go out for the run, we're going to be confused. So we are asking people by the 31st of May. I think that was oh gosh, I'm spacing on the date where we asked for those final changes. But I'll make sure I get that out in an email.
A photography for the finish line.
Yep, we will definitely have a race photographer at the finish. So for sure, part of what you'll get post-event is a link to photos that have been taken. They'll be there, to get more. They usually put someone out on the bike course as well. So there's usually a few photos that you have an option to look through. Every athlete will get to download one for free, and then you can purchase more if you like.
And Leslie, you can bring your own special mustard if there's something particular that you would like to have. I don't know that we have Grey Poupon.
So I think that.
Okay. Yeah. Just
Oh,
excitement.
Yeah. Water temperature. I'm surprised I haven't gotten more questions about that. I saw, I'm going to take a temperature next week. I saw someone recently post, and this was probably a couple weeks ago, I think 59, which actually is pretty good considering that was a couple of weeks ago. Now we're kind of in this little warmer weather stretch. Historically, the water temperature has always been like mid 60s. If anything, it might be a little warmer maybe this year, based on where we're at. But water temperature, official water temperature read, I'll look to put that out next week.
Let's see, we got a couple more comments. Wicked sight. All right, a lot of first timers on here. That's exciting. Really excited that everybody kept up with their training.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to it.
Definitely. So again, ask thing and how that's going to work. If you have questions, you know where to find me, info@sunmultisportevents.com. For those of you who get asked about this, hey, how was it? This recording will be available on the Facebook page of Sun Multisport Events, and I will also put it on our YouTube channel. So I saw a question about road conditions. So one of the reasons why we made a change to the bike course was because there was Pierce Ave was really in bad shape on the old course. So I would say the road conditions are better. There is one section, the end of Highland Avenue in Middleborough, then you make a left onto Benson. That's a little choppy, I'll be honest, not great. We're going to put some signage out there to kind of make you aware. It's Massachusetts, and we have tough winters, so we're going to find that. But overall, I'd say the course is a higher quality than what we had in 2019 for those of you that have that point of comparison.
No wetsuit strippers this year, but hopefully we get them back again next year.
Yeah.
And what's the cutoff mark?
Cutoff is 3 o'clock, right? Whatever's on the website, I believe that's 3 o'clock. So that's that. And wetsuit strippers, the big Breakthrough Performance Coaching team were very bummed to be told that we weren't going to do that. Maybe that comes back, but don't count on it. That's you're really on top of people at that point. No one's wearing masks. That's not going to come back. Yeah, I mean that's basically why I say yeah, but it'll come back eventually.
Some rough spots on the loop.
Yeah, but better.
Okay. Extending the final cutoff time. This has been a difficult year to train.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we say 3 p.m. Ask around. We show a little leniency on that, so it's not like. And trust me, the last thing I want to do is ask people to, hey, put them in my truck and bring them in, which unfortunately I do have to do every year. But I'll be straight with you. It's not at 3:01. So do your best to train, to be ready, and we'll take that as it comes.
Will the roads be closed to traffic?
Roads are not closed to traffic. That'd be a very big challenge for us. We do have a race with a closed bike course that's down in New Bedford, our Whaling City Triathlon, which I'll give a plug for. That's in July, but no, sorry, Jill, the bike course is not closed to traffic, and neither is the run course. But we have, we'll have volunteers out there, signage,
And police.
a lot of police to help control traffic.
Is that it? Thank you, Peter. Nope.
When does the race start? 7 a.m.
7 a.m. is with that rolling start with everybody.
That's right.
going
Yeah,
in.
that's when we'll start putting people in the water at 7 o'clock. I can tell you right now, the first wave will be athletes in the elite category, and the last wave will be our aqua bike athletes. That's always been the case.
We are having bananas.
Yes.
They're packaged.
Right. They won't be cut up.
Yeah, they'll just be you grab a whole banana.
Yeah. And also, not as much stuff on the run course. And we were to talk about fewer aid stations. We used to do pretzels and cut up bananas and oranges. We just can't do that. So, there will be some like packaged power bars, gels, and then liquid. So again, please plan for that. We want you to, be ready.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Again, you know where to find me on email if you need to. Have a good night, all. We'll see you in about 4 weeks.